up on my bullshit, back up on the move. Touchdown in my hometown, got nothing to lose. I am on my own now, I am in control now. Ain't need you to go now, I can fix my own.
What's up, my little heathens? So I'm doing this story time video about my adopted mother. Now, I did write some topics down, do a random pick to choose and figure out what topic I would do today, and this is it. So I will be calling her my mom, but we could go ahead and y'all will know her as T. So let's get into it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and go ahead, turn on the post notifications because these story times are finna be crazy. Whew. Now, my mom used to take me and my brother, Christian, to a daycare. Mind you, this is my adopted mother. We were adopted into her care because my birth mom was on drugs and she was feeding me drug milk, and I stayed in and out the hospital. So they went ahead and made the agreement that if they would try to take us away or lock her up, that her cousin, which is her first cousin, which is my adopted mom, would take us. Now, me and my brother used to go to this daycare. It was a wonderful daycare. I loved it so bad. They had computers, they had a jungle gym, they had everything. They had good snacks, like good little lunches and breakfasts, and even had dinner because it would stay open very, like, not too late, but it would stay open pretty late. Now, me and my brother used to go to daycare all day, Monday through Sunday, every day. And the way things were at home, it wasn't very ideal. So being in this daycare was like a second home for us. It was like a safe space. We didn't have to worry about starving. We didn't have to worry about sleeping on the floor or not having hot water. We didn't have to worry about being yelled at for 1,000,001 different reasons, even as being a kid. So I was about 6 to 7 years old. My brother had to be about 5, 6. But at this daycare, they took a very keen interest in us. Now, I believe that they took a keen interest in us because of the way that we operated. We would only talk to each other. If anything were to happen, we go in our little corner, either in the lab or outside in the corner gate, and be with our heads together talking. We didn't really talk or interact with the other kids too much. We didn't really know how to interact with other kids because we wasn't really taught to do that. So the more they tried to bring us out our shell, the more we secluded ourselves with each other. So one day, my mom was extremely late picking us up. Like, when I say extremely late, she was real late. Like, everybody else had left. Some of the staff had left. They were calling. They asking us, like, does your mommy work? What's going on? And I'm sitting there like, oh, yeah, she works. At that time, my mom was selling Mary Kay. She ended up going out of town with a man. I don't know why she went out of town with this man. That really, like, it didn't dawn on me of a reason why she wasn't there. So because she wasn't there on time, and because they waited so long, and these employees had their own families to get back to, they called them people. We had the police up there at the daycare. We had CPS up there at the daycare looking for my mama. My brother's sitting there, is mommy coming to get us? Is mommy coming to get us? I'm sitting here telling him, yeah, she coming. And I didn't even know she was coming for real, which kind of messes with my head now as an adult because I protected my brother from a lot. Now, when she finally did get there, or before she even got there, they've been asking us questions about what my mom does, about home, about what's going on. Now, mind you, me and my brother would go to this daycare not knowing if we were going to eat when we got home, not knowing if we was going to be able to use the bathroom with a flushing toilet. Like, we would sit at the daycare and just use the bathroom and flush the toilet over and over and over again just to hear it flush. We go run the water. We just be kids. We were trying to be kids, but I was already growing up overly fast. So they were like, oh, well, are you eating at home? And I was telling them, like, sometimes we don't eat. Sometimes my mom would eat and it wasn't enough for us. So you could really like see how this led up to CPS being called. Now, by the time my mom showed up to pick us up, they had all the information they needed, like everything they needed. They were just waiting on her to come so that they can let her know, like, we will be taking your children. So when she finally showed up, she gave the excuse that she got pulled over because she was speeding and that she was out of town. And then when I further started growing up, I found out she was out of town with a dude. So when they took us, it was horrible. We sat in that office for the longest, thinking that, oh, we just gonna be here for a little bit. She's finna come get us, like, from here. We would be able to go home to wherever we would lay our head that night. She just needs some time. We stayed there for hours until it was time for them to close their doors. And so they put us into an emergency foster home, me and my brother together. And you don't see that too much because they really be separating siblings real bad. At least they used to. I'm not too sure how they do it now, but I know they used to do this. So when me and my brother got to this foster home, I'm sitting here telling them, I want to go home. We want to go home. We don't want to be here. This isn't our home. And they'd be like, well, you can't go home. So you could just imagine how I felt as a kid hearing that I can't go with my mom, who is the only person that I've been around since I was 2. Her and her many boyfriends. So when I finally did get to see my mom, it was on a very, very strict supervised visit, and it was in the CPS office. And she was telling us, well, she brought us noodles, and I remember it because this is how I started eating noodles so bad. She brought us noodles. It was the cup of ramen, and it was shrimp, I believe. My brother didn't like shrimp too much. He never really liked seafood. So we ended up going with her. She ended up getting her little rights back or whatever. And when we went with her, I thought everything was going to be okay. Everything was going to be better. No. I was blamed. And I was blamed fully. Like, when I say fully, she acted like my brother did not say nothing. And I understand he was younger than me. But for you to sit here and blame a child says something about you as a parent. So I started going through abuse. Verbal. It started with verbal. It escalated to physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. So when we did get home and we finally got to where we wanted to be, she had got her a wonderful little house. Like, it was beautiful. And we stayed out there on Tiger Trace Lane. Tiger Trace Lane was a very quiet neighborhood. Very quiet. It was me, it was my brother. We ended up kicked out. Now, we got kicked out because they were saying that it was too much commotion coming from our house. And there was too much traffic coming in and out of our house. Now, my mom had many boyfriends coming in and out. She had a lot of stuff that she was doing. We would be left alone at home. They see us outside. I'd go outside just to go outside, just to get like a little piece outside of home. And they'd see me and they'd be like, where's your mommy? And I'd tell them, because as a kid, I really didn't lie. I told them, she's not here. So who's there with you? My brother. Who else? Nobody. So one day she came home and she was so mad because they had put the eviction notice on the door. and I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that she was telling us to pack up and we was leaving. Now from there, leaving there, we ended up going to another house. When we moved into this other house, we had this neighbor. She was so sweet at first, and we started tearing up the house. By that time, we was angry. I didn't understand why my mom treated me like she treated me. I didn't understand why I was blamed for us getting taken when she was to blame, because she should have came and got us. If she would have came and got us, police wouldn't have been called. CPS wouldn't have been involved. So we got taken because of neglect. That's really all it was. Now, when we moved, my mom was still gone. She would still just leave for hours and then come back and go to in her room and lock herself in her room. Now, by that time, I had learned this is gonna be the norm. I make sure my brother fed. I make sure he get him a nap in. We play. I made it like him feel like she wasn't needed. She didn't need to be there. I'm here. So I became that second mother for him. Technically third, because we have our birth mom, our adopted mom, and then there was me. Now, from that house, I ended up getting into it with her a lot. And as a child, I should not be getting into it with my parent. We would argue, or it would be little arguments. I say something back, I get hit in my mouth. I try to speak my mind and tell how I feel. I get hit, or I get yelled at, or I'm threatened to be sent back into a foster home. And I did not want to be in a foster home. I was about 13 at that time. No, I was about 12, 13, roughly. So I had already got put on medication. I had already been through a lot. I had already been touched. I had already gone through it. So for me to be going back and forth and trying to explain my feelings and my emotions to my mother, and for her to turn around and tell me what I'm saying doesn't matter, or to yell at me, or to hit me for speaking how I feel about a situation, or how I feel that she should be handling my brother, which is understandable. Like, I know how to handle my brother. You don't be here. So if you're not here, you don't know. You don't have children. She did not have no kids when we were adopted. She adopted us when she was 21 years old. She said, like she claims, because I can't confirm that she went to college. I can't confirm that she finished high school. I can't confirm none of that because I never seen no certificates whatsoever. So I ended up getting a fascination with animals. That's where my fascination with animals started. I was bringing strays in the house. Like, when I say strays, y'all, it was a bunch of dogs. I had this igloo tent that I ended up stealing from the house down the street. And I would have the tent in the house, and I would have the dogs in the tent. Stay here, sit, lay down, go to sleep, whatever. And I just be chilling. It was me and my brother. So we got put out of there. Now, we got put out of there because of us. That was our fault. I ain't gonna lie. We flooded the house. Really, the bathroom. It didn't even flood the whole house. We just flooded the bathroom. We thought we was gonna do a little swimming party in the bathroom, and it didn't really turn out to be a swimming party. It turned out to be a mess. So when we got put out, it was, again, my fault. And I took that blame because it was my fault. But we ended up going back to Tiger Trace. And we moved into a whole nother house on a whole nother street. I got taken from there. My brother stayed there, but she was telling, we had already had the caseworker, the CPS case open. So she was telling the caseworker that was assigned to our case that she couldn't deal with me. She couldn't handle me. She couldn't it was hard for her to communicate with me that I was just doing all this stuff, that I was sneaking, I was having sex. I wasn't even having sex. I didn't willingly have sex until I was like 15. I ain't willingly have no sex with no dude until I was 15. But it was kind of hard for me because going back into the system at the age I went back at, I was still in my adolescence. I wasn't a full teenager yet. I did start my period already, but it was like I wasn't even taught about that. So all the things that I was supposed to know as a woman or as a girl, as a female, I did not. At least I didn't know it from her. I started learning along the way and knowing what I should and should not be doing, how I should and should not carry myself, how I should or should not do certain things. And I learned it all either self-taught, or I learned it in foster care, or I learned it on the streets. I always had older friends my whole life. It was always me being the youngest person around my group of friends. So I ended up in this foster home, and it was huge. It was like a big old house. And that's where I started all of my medications. Now, my mother sat and told my caseworker I'm crazy. I was talking about suicide. I was talking about harming others. I was talking to myself. Now, mind you, around that time is when I started developing the personalities that I have now. I don't think that she really fully understood what she was doing when she sent me back. So when she sent me back and I started my medications, because I had to go see a psychiatrist because of the allegations that she was saying about me. Now, I was talking to myself. I was doing that. And I was trying to kill myself. I tried several times to do so in my younger years. But imagine living in a house with a mother who put you down every day. I look like my birth mom by face. My birth mom don't have my body type, but we have the same face. And then what's crazier, I'm starting to get freckles, and she's got freckles all right here, and I got them right here. It's really insane because I did not have freckles. But I think she resented my mom, because I feel like she resented her cousin, my birth mom, because she was young and she had to stop her life, aka stop sleeping around. She couldn't be gone and willy-nilly and just couldn't leave for several weeks with whatever man she was with at the time. I think that's why she was so upset. Plus, I look like her, so the abuse just came tenfold. Being in this foster home, I learned that I have nobody. I have me. I have the people in my head. I went through everything in that foster home. Like, when I say everything, it was girls and boys there. And the girls would sleep on one side of the house and the boys would sleep down the hall. It was like a real long hallway that led to the other side of the house. The boys slept over there. The girls would go to the boys' side. The boys would come to the girls' side. It was just mixed. They really didn't care. That is where I feel like my deepest issues really started coming out. So when they put me on my medications, I was very sluggish. So I was already in middle school by the time I started my meds. I couldn't think. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even tell you. Sometimes I could barely tell you my name. Sometimes I wouldn't even be able to write on my worksheets. I feel like I was real life doped out. I didn't have no control over myself. And they did this to try to minimize my behavior issues. But it just made it worse because I started cheeking them, and I stopped. Like, once you are on medications for so long, anybody with mental health issues know that if you are on medications for too long and then you just cold turkey stop, it's like, yo, whatever it was supposed to be helping, it crashes. And when I say I crashed so bad. I ended up etching dye in my arm in school. I sat in my desk and I etched it in my arm. I used a, what did I use? I used a pencil eraser. I took the ink out of a regular ink pen and used the ballpoint of the ink pen as well. And I didn't even get to finish it because I ended up caught. They called my mom, my foster mom, and they was like, well, she's here harming herself and we feel like she cannot be here. So they ended up putting me in a mental hospital. From there, I ended up back with my mother. How she keep getting me, I don't know. So I ended up back with her because they felt like it was the best place for me to be. They was like, oh, well, she's probably acting out because she misses her mom. She's acting out because she's not with her, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, I'm acting out because I don't want to be in either place. I don't want to be here. I have been going through a lot. I went through a lot of bullying, a lot, because of me. I can't stress this enough. I have been hated my whole life. So to be hated by anybody else, I don't care. You got to join the line. Now, when I went back with my mom, I was around 15, I believe. I was around 15. And they sent me home with her, and I had like Ziploc bags, like, you know, the gallon Ziploc bags. I had about 2-3 of those, and I had like a medication sheet. And I had to take these medications every day. And for the longest, she had me on these medications until she pulled me off suddenly. I had went to sleep on the bus, and I ended up, I don't even know where I was. I had to knock on somebody's door and ask them, can I call my mom to come get me? Because I didn't know where I was. So she pulled me off the medications, and as soon as she pulled me off, my mental state dropped again. When my mental state dropped, we started getting into it bad. Like, when I say bad, we was fighting. We was out there on Tiger Trace fighting. She was calling the police on me. We lived next door to a police officer. He was coming to help her restrain me because I was trying to leave. I kept trying to run away. I kept trying to get away because I did not, like, I don't even understand why people didn't believe me when I was a kid that I did not want to be around her, that she was hurting me in some type of way or form. One day I came in the house. I had been out, I think I was down the street around the corner hanging out because there was a busted fire hose and the water was just spraying out. And the way Houston is, the way Texas is, that heat gets you. So I was playing in the water extinguisher, whatever that is, and I ended up coming home. My clothes was wet. I was trying to go right upstairs, take a shower, and she stopped me. She told me I wasn't coming out of her house because she doesn't know where I've been. Why am I all wet? I'm trying to explain to her, like, I just came from playing in the water. She said that I was out with whoever and I was having sex with this person, that person, this person. Like, she swore up and down I was screwing a bunch of people. Like, I don't even, I don't even, like, I hung out with a bunch of boys. I never really liked hanging out with females. I liked females. I've liked females for a very long time. So I hung out with a bunch of boys because I felt like I related to them better than I related to the females around my age. Any female around my age, any female period, I just wanted to, I was like, oh, she pretty, oh, she fine, oh, I'm trying to, yeah. So that's all I was doing with females. But with the niggas, with men, with boys, or with the teenagers, with the boys, like the guys around my age, oh, we finna go skateboard, we finna go to the skate park, we finna go do something like boyish. They always could count on me to go do something boyish. So with that, I ended up put out. Y'all, she put me out in the sickest way possible. I'm sitting at the bottom of the steps. Now, mind you, I didn't came in. She didn't finally let me in because it started getting dark outside. And like I said, we live next to a door to a police officer. So if I was sitting outside late at night, he was going to come asking questions. So I had been let in. I had took my shower. I got out the wet clothes. I'm sitting at the bottom of the steps. She's up the steps. Now, the way the steps go, it goes like this. Got 2 flights. Now, they didn't disconnect. They all connected. It was carpet. I was sitting at the bottom. And she was calling me all these different names. And I'm like, I don't even know why you want me here. Now, in going forward into life, I found out she was getting a check for me. I was getting a crazy check. Yup. I was off my rocker. Still am. I just handle it better now. But she was yelling, calling me names, and I told her, I said, if you was gonna treat me like this, why would you bring me here? Like, why am I here? I want to leave. I don't want to be around you. Y'all, next thing I knew, I look up because I hear her footsteps coming to the landing on the steps, and she done tossed a big, like, when I say big, it was like this wide of a brown gel container over the landing, and it hit me in my eye. Y'all, I went to school with a black eye. Yes, I did. I went to school with that black eye. That was like how she told me, oh, it didn't even hit you, and I'm sporting a black eye. Y'all, till this day, or until the day that I stopped talking to her finally, she laughed about this situation. Like, she was like, it barely touched you. I didn't think it hit you. Key. Oh, you black my eye with gel and you think that's funny? And I was a kid. So she blacked my eye. I went to school. I black. And y'all see my skin tone. So it's like a black eye would show all the colors of the rainbow. You finna see the yellow, the green, the purple, all of it, the blue. And when they asked me at school, I had got pulled from my class because they was laughing at me. I got pulled from my class, got brought into the principal's office, and my principal asked me, what happened to your eye? And I told him, my mama hit me with gel. She threw the gel over the landing and it hit me in my eye. And she was like, oh, well, was it an accident? No, she threw it on purpose. She threw it over the landing. Ain't no way that was an accident. I don't want to be there. I don't feel safe. Y'all, I ended up back in the system. But that lady told them, like, I'm off my meds after she didn't forcefully pull me off of them. She was telling them, like, I'm off my meds. I don't know reality from fantasy, and I am very certain she told them that I was schizophrenic. She told them all kinds of craziness. So I ended up at the mental hospital where I was sexually abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused, strapped down to tables, booty juiced. Like, if you've ever been in a mental hospital and you've acted a fool, you know what booty juice is. They strap you down to a table, put your butt in the air, and inject you with a serum that will calm you down and put you to sleep. I stayed on a lot of them tables. And a lot of them times, I really don't even know why I was there. It's not like I was being unruly. It's not like I was being unapproachable. I was just a loner. I didn't want nobody talking to me. I don't need to be here. Y'all got me here and I don't need to be here. I'm here because this lady is sitting here telling y'all that I'm crazy, and I'm not. I'm very capable of knowing what I'm doing. I'm very capable of knowing right from wrong. I'm very capable of knowing reality from fantasy. I'm very capable. Now, I took up my reading. I escaped mentally to my books. Every visitation, she would try to come see me. I tell them I don't want to see nobody. They thought I was getting depressed. I got antidepressants. I got more medication added to the medications that I was already on. They were trying different combinations of medications to try to see what would work for me, but everything had me, my senses dulled. Like I really borderline sociopath. So when I got out the hospital, I ended up going with her mom, and she would come see me. I really didn't want to see her, but her mom would just let her in. And her mom don't even have no good relationship. So it's like, okay, you got to be giving this lady something, because why are you here? Now, my Nana had already gotten my brother, and he was there. So I got reconnected back with my brother. So it was I tried to make the best of the situation, not knowing that that was going to be a worse situation. So my mama ended up coming to see me all the time, and she would try to bribe me with gifts and money and all this other nonsense to try to get me back into, or get back into my good graces. I did not trust it for nothing. I didn't trust her. I didn't trust her mama. I don't trust people. Like, I did not trust nobody. Y'all supposed to be my family, and y'all doing me the wrongest. Like, y'all doing me the dirtiest, and I don't understand. Even being a teenager, I don't understand. Being an adult, I don't understand why I was treated this way as a kid. So I ended up leaving. When I left, I went back into the system. I went to a foster home where I was trafficked, beat, almost dead. Like, these people beat me with their hands, like, over a candle that I didn't even take. It was a candle that was in the stairwell, and I don't understand. I don't know who took it, but it wasn't me. But it ended up being under my mattress. So one of my foster sisters put it under my mattress, and I ended up taking a fall for it. And they wouldn't listen to me. They just kept saying, oh, well, you're lying. You've been known to be a liar. Even your mom calls you a liar. Woo. And I'm like, my mom is covering her own tail. Like, y'all adults and y'all don't see this? So from there, I ended up running away. I ran away into the woods, and right, like, on the other side of the woods, it was this neighborhood that I had literally been scoping out for the longest. And that's where the police found me. And that's when I was arrested for my very first time. I was arrested because they said it was breaking and entering and burglary of a habitation. Now, I ain't take too much of nothing. I took food, some clothes, a little money. I didn't take too much of nothing. I took stuff that I needed. I needed these things so that I can survive on the streets, because that's the only thing that I had left. From jail, they released me into my mom's care. Why? That's when I ended up moving over to the north side of Houston. I grew up from there on 1960 and 45. I was a Cypress Station baby. Oh, and I gave them hell. Like, when I say I gave them hell, I gave them straight hell. They thought I was a demon child. My mom ended up putting me out. I got pregnant when I was 17. And it was a lot of ruckus dealing with my pregnancy. When my mom found out I was pregnant, I was about 2-3 months along. I had been hiding it for a little minute. I knew I was pregnant because I was throwing up. I took home economics, so I knew the signs of pregnancy. I knew like I should probably go get a test, so I got the test. I tested myself. I tested myself again. I tested myself a third time. I was pregnant. It was what it was. I loved my baby daddy. I did. But just like everybody else, he did me dirty. I ended up losing my baby. When I lost my baby, my mom let me come back, and she was like, oh yeah, you can come back. I want to help you through this. I don't know what you've been doing. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what you got going on now, but I'm here to help you. So I went ahead, went to high school. Going into high school, oh baby, I had a blast. I had more freedom because I was working a legal job. I was working at CC's Pizza, and I thought like I'd be saving up for my own place. I'd be signing my lease in less than 6 months. I will be moving. I will not be around my mom anymore. I'm finna bring my brother with me so he doesn't have to be around her anymore, because he would just sit and watch. Like, he couldn't do anything to the abuse that I was going through. He couldn't say anything because he was scared he was going to go through the same thing, which was true. That's exactly how it was going to go, and that's exactly how it went. Every time he spoke up to try to protect me, it was, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're a child, stay in a child's place. She raised the pan of my brother, and I almost knocked her clean out, because he was very, my brother wasn't big. He was actually pretty little. He was a little runt at first. I'm 5'7". I have not grown no taller. I'm not growing no taller. I am going to be 5'7" for the rest of my life. Currently, my brother's like 6'5", 6'6" maybe. So he sprouted. And when he started sprouting, my mom, she's short. She's like 5'2", 5'1", 5'2". What's up, YouTube? I'm back. Okay, so when he did start actually like standing up over her, I feel like she got scared, just like she started getting scared when I started standing up over her. I ain't gonna lie, I've hit my mom. I've put my hands on my mom several times, but it's because I felt like she was jeopardizing my life. If I felt like I was in danger, cool. I could take a little beating. Her hits ain't hurt. But once I felt like she was really trying to cause me serious harm, I'm going to defend myself. And that's what I did. I'm not finna just let you beat on me. I'm not finna just let you do anything to me. No. It got to a point where she was putting my medications in my food without my knowledge. And whenever I would taste it, I just spit it out, because I know I'm not stupid. You think I haven't like felt this dissolve in my mouth, and I know the taste? I used to cheat my meds a lot, so of course I know the taste of this medications. So when I started noticing that, I stopped eating. When I stopped eating, it was a fight. She was telling folks that I was starving myself because I was doing wrong. She started telling people like all these crazy things. When I finally did like leave, when I left, I just recently left. Mind you, I moved to Chicago. I moved to Chicago to go meet my birth mom. No better, y'all. No better at all. But I ended up moving back because I was under the impression that my mom had her stuff together. I did not know she was living in a hotel. I did not know that she was struggling every day. I didn't know. If I would have known, I would have never moved back to Houston. I would have still been in Chicago. Happily. But I ended up moving back. I ended up taking on the role of a parent again to her two children, to two of her three children. She's got a girl and she's got two boys. Now, I don't really want to disclose how that situation fully played out, but I will tell you, I moved up out of her room because she kept telling me, "Oh, you're smoking too much. Oh, you need to do more. The boys need this and the boys need that." Them ain't my boys. When I got home, like when I got back, I hadn't seen them since they were like babies. Like Tanner was probably 2 and Tobias was like 3, 4. I hadn't seen them since. So when I came home, or when I went home to stay with her in the hotel room where she had one bed, y'all, I slept on the floor or on the pullout if there was one. So she stayed at the Days Inn, which was actually very nice hotel. It was really nice. They had a pool. I went to and from freely. They had like a little park area I can go smoke in, because she told me like they would arrest me if I smoked in front of the building. And then I started smoking in front of the building because I started noticing everybody smoking in front of this building. I'm not finna get arrested. Now, mind you, I had already got my record. I already did my class X felony, which is a whole nother story. So she kept like scaring me. She was like, "Well, we're in Stafford, so Stafford is gonna arrest you on site." Now I'm thinking, I'm not trying to go back to jail. I'm not going back. Is y'all cool? Like, I tried to follow as many rules as I possibly could, but once you tell me I cannot smoke, and I've been smoking every day consecutively since for a long time, I'm not finna listen to you. Is you crazy? So I ended up moving up out of her room because she started leaving, telling me I can't smoke, but leaving her kids with me all day. Y'all, she went to, where'd she go? She went to Dallas. She said she was going for a business meeting. Now, mind you, my mom claims she owns a credit builder business. I asked her to fix my credit. The only thing that she did was add more stuff on it to make it drop. And then her being late on her credit card fees made it drop even faster. I've had bills in my name since I was 14. Really younger than that. But yeah. So when I left, I ended up moving to another hotel room in the same hotel. And I kept asking her, like, "Can I get my stuff out of your storage?" Because I had put my stuff in her storage because she ain't have no place to put her stuff. The hotel room was so crowded, y'all. Like, when I say crowded, she had like laundry basket, like the little laundry baskets full of food lined up on the wall next to the door. Then I had got me an air mattress and put it out on the floor by the refrigerator, in between the refrigerator and the wall and the bed. And I was just trying to make it work. But she kept trying to tell me, "Oh, we can go this day, we can go this day, we can go this day to go get your stuff." And she never took me to go get my stuff. I really chopped it up as a loss after I cut all contact with her. The stuff that I had in her storage, I had brought from Chicago. I had one container of clothes, my cat stuff. So I had a kitten. She moved us around from hotel to hotel to hotel to hotel to hotel. And I paid a lot of them rooms, like a lot. And she had been living in a hotel for like 2 years. I didn't even know. That's cool. If that's for you, If it's nice enough, cool to stay there for a little bit, a couple of months, get back on your feet, stack your paper. But for you to be staying there for 2 years is crazy. Y'all, she was at that Days Inn for a year before I got there. Almost a year before I got there. I'm sitting there talking to the front desk lady because that's really the only person that I really talk to outside of like a couple of tenants here and there. But they was like, the lady at the desk was like, yeah, your mom, she's been here for almost a year now. This is my first time seeing you. I'm like, yeah, I've been in Chicago. She was like, that's where you from? No, I'm from here. Like, I just wasn't around my mama because of like situations like us getting into it. They used to have the front desk, like the front desk used to come up to our room because me and her are arguing. And she want to yell and throw stuff and scream for me to get out. And I'd leave like, all right, bye. Find somebody else to watch these two bastards. Like, that's how I really felt about them. And I was supposed to, like, as a big sister, because I considered them as my brothers. As a big sister, I try my best to take care of them. But there's only so much that I can do when their mother is sitting here acting like they don't have to listen to me. Like, oh, who was there when you wasn't getting out the bed and feeding Tanner and Tobias every fucking 2 hours? Me. Who did it? I did. Who woke up out their sleep? I did. I was a mother without being a mother. I lost my child. And I gained 2 more, I felt like. I consider my brother as my child. My brother Christian is my child. That is my child. I hate the situation that he's in now, but it is what it is. Now, me and the girl at the front desk ended up getting into it. We got into it over something so petty because she tried to play and then lied about it. So I'm like, they tried to put us out. So instead of just leaving like a normal person, my mom went into her bank and told them, like, disputed every charge that she made at that hotel. So every night that she stayed there, she disputed it. All the way dating back a year. And they flagged it and they told us that we had to go. Like, when I say they said we had to go, they had the police up there to escort us out. And that was so embarrassing because I was like, why would you go and do that? Like, that's fraud. You are being illegal, man. These are illegal activities. And you want to tell me about my illegal activities? Don't tell me. So, y'all, when she put me out the Days Inn, like when we got put out the Days Inn, they was like, oh, well, I ended up fighting the front desk lady because we was already leaving. We ended up going to another hotel. She tried to make it seem like my cat was a problem. And when I say she tried to make it seem like he was a problem, my cat was scratching her baby. And my cat was scratching her baby because he would like grab, his name was Snowfall. He would grab him by the tail and like fling him. Like, you got you a little animal abuser here, and that creates crazy folks. If you can harm an animal, it says something about you, especially at a young age. If you could like willingly just harm an animal, they just sitting there chilling and you could just harm them, oh, that's crazy talk. But what you're not finna do is harm mine. So I tear her little boy butt up. Every time I call him touching my cat, don't touch my cat. Tell your kids, don't touch my cat. He's here, that's their cat too. No, it's not. When they start paying for cat litter, when they start paying for toys, when they start paying for his visits to the vet, once they start paying for his food, they can claim him. Until then, no, this is my cat and I would like my animal to stay alive. Y'all, she kept the hotel room door open and like kicked him out. And when I say kicked him out, she nudged him out and she was like, oh, he's gonna come back. He always come back. Y'all, he did not come back. Mind you, before he even left, she was sitting here telling me, like, yelling at me about how funky he was. And anybody that knows animals know Animals listen. They understand. It might not talk back, but my cat really did. Like, I'd be like, Snowfall. He'd be like, meow. I'd be like, man, I've had a bad day. He'd sit on my chest. He'd just listen. That was my emotional support animal. I love that cat so bad. And she kicked him out, and he ran away. So, after that, I was like, I don't need to be around you. I have no reason to really be around you. We ended up put out because I was looking for my cat. She made a big scene acting like it was an issue with me knocking on people's doors asking have they seen him, like, because I'd let him out and he'd go roam and play, but he wouldn't go far. I could call his name, he coming. When I stepped out that door and called his name and he didn't, I thought one of them people snatched him up because they would be like, oh, he's so cute, he's so clean, he's so soft. I know, because I keep my cat clean. I keep him happy. Nothing in this world makes me happier than an animal. Nothing. Outside of having my own kids. One day. So we moved from that hotel, that was the budget inn. So we went from the days inn to the budget inn to a Airbnb. Now this Airbnb was an apartment. It was nice, y'all. It was really nice. It had a little kitchen set area. It had the room in the front, but that's fine. And then it had the bathroom through a door, and it had the closet. Now Snowfall would sit in the window for $33 a night, and I'm helping you pay this $33 a night every day. We racking it up weeks. Oh baby, my cat ain't going nowhere. Like, I really hated that, like, for everybody involved. I hated, I would tell her, like, if Snowfall was here, he would be chilling. But yet again, her demands and it's her way or it's no way. She is a Leo. So I really felt like she wanted me gone real bad, because after Snowfall ran away and didn't come back no more, I really went into depression. I didn't want to do nothing. I sat and I cried for like a week. I didn't want to eat. I don't need to eat. I drank my water so I could like keep my belly a little full. But as far as eating, I didn't do. I was very, very depressed. So I left from the Airbnb and I ended up at another hotel. Y'all, this lady low-key followed me. I really feel like she followed me, because she ended up in the same hotel. Like, I seen her truck and I thought I was tweaking, but I'm like, I know that license plate. And me with license plates, I know my license plates. So I knew like that was her, and I ended up seeing her like paying for her room. I'm just looking at her, and she tried to charge me up, and I'm like, where is my stuff? That's all I care about. Where's my stuff? I want my stuff. If you don't have my stuff and you cannot give me my stuff, I don't have nothing to say to you. Y'all, I ended up fighting my mama in the hotel hallway. I was trying to go down to my room, and she kept blocking, like she kept going like this, blocking away, like wouldn't let me come through. And she tried to push me, and I ended up sticking her. Cause why is you putting your hands on me, lady? Don't touch me. Is you okay? They called the police. I ended up leaving from over there. And when I left from over there, I went to my friend's house. Now, at that time, I was doing quite a bit. I was scamming. I was paying people rent for half price. I was doing groceries for half price. I was doing a lot of stuff. But it was like, I felt like it was a breath of fresh air. I was in an apartment. I thought everything was going to be okay. And it wasn't. Y'all, this lady kept texting me talking about I was using her clients' information from her credit building business to open up accounts and stuff like that. And I'm like, why would I use somebody's credit name and credit that ain't got no good credit to open up accounts that they will not get approved for. So eventually I ended up blocking her in all types of ways. I went to her hotel room in person and I knocked on her door and I told her, do not ever contact me again. I want nothing to do with you or your kids. I want nothing to do with what you have going on. Legal, illegal, I don't care. Lose my information. Do not speak to me no more. And from then to now, I have not talked to that lady, y'all. I am standing 10 toes on it this time, because every time she comes to me and tells me that she needs help or tells me she has a problem, I come running. And I'm tired of doing that. So now I done moved to a whole new state again. And I'm still not talking to her. I know she's sick. Y'all, last thing I heard about her was she was getting put out of her hotel room, and they wouldn't give her a key, and they had put all her stuff on the hotel room steps. The hotel steps. So she was really down bad, and I am like, that's karma. That is karma. But thank you so much for listening to my story time about my adopted mom. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so that you can hear my next story. I cannot wait to go ahead and jumble this up and tell my next one. Until then, I hope y'all have a wonderful, 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 wonderful time. I hope y'all had a lovely time listening to the story. I hope that you all are thriving, and God bless you. Yeah.